Aloha, everyone. My name is Jason Schwartz. I'm the host of the Neutral Zone. And today we have a terrific guest. I know you as Joan. I've known you as Joan this and Joan, but now for many years you've been Joan Heartfield in a very successful, happy relationship.
Absolutely.
And I know you from years ago, but now I think of you as TalkingHearts.com, which is you and your partner Tomas. What do you do? What's the nature of what you're doing these days?
Well, there's many things that we're doing, and one of the main things that we're doing is something called heart intelligence, which is helping people listen to their hearts, be able to communicate from their hearts, follow their hearts to their dreams, to be able to bring whatever is inside of them into the world in a way that really allows them to feel fulfilled and allows the world to receive their gifts.
So it's I'm going to describe it, and let me see if I can. It's a personal experience, either yourself or with a partner.
Well, there's actually, we do it both in groups, and we also do it one-to-one, and we do it with couples, so it depends.
You're getting in touch with yourself, and you're peeling away layers of an onion, and you have, I'm sure, I remember from years ago, many ways of getting there to the core of you and being able to look at things in a clear light.
Absolutely. That is the whole point, to be able to remove the blocks to the, let's say, mask that we're wearing, and to, in all the ways that we feel maybe that we don't feel adequate, because there's a great sense generally of inadequacy that we either receive from our parents or the culture or whatever it is. And so to be able to move beyond that to the place where we really have, everybody has a special gift. Every single person has a special gift. And once we know how to get to that place where we can be authentic with who we are and bring that authentic part of us into the world, then the gift that we have with that blesses everyone around us.
And that gift can be anything that we ourselves find special in our personal purpose.
Yes.
Our self-created direction.
Yes, it's what we really love the most. It's like when we really listen to our hearts and we really listen to the that beautiful voice within us that pops up and makes us feel like, oh, I'd love to do that, or oh, I'd love to be able to communicate that way, or oh, that would really bring me joy. So the things that bring you joy really are your gifts. So whether it's music, or whether it's raising children, or whether it's being with animals, or whether it's being with the plants, or whether it's whatever it is in our life that brings us joy, that's the gift that we have to give.
Well, I remember years ago, I'm just pulling from me. Years ago when I met you, it was 1989. And you were with a different partner. In fact, he was on our show, actually, a couple months ago. But I got involved in holotropic breathing. I guess it was therapy, was it?
Holotropic breath work, which was developed by Stanislav Grof. I did a 3-year training, so I'm a certified holotropic breath worker, and it's one of the things that we also do. Mostly we do it in groups, but sometimes we do it privately as well, and it is a way of, it's a depth therapy. It's a way of moving beyond the personality, beyond our stories, and through the breath being able to connect with the deepest part of our being so that we can feel whatever it is that may be holding us back, any unexpressed aspects of ourself, whether it's maybe we've held in our sadness or held in our anger or held in our joy. Held ourselves in whatever way. And the breath work really allows us to move that energy to the surface so that we can feel it, because there's a lot that we repress in our lives, for many reasons. And so having a safe space to be able to bring up the material that maybe has been repressed and is holding us back from being able to be all that we are.
How do people find out about what you're doing? I mean, I've seen different groups around, but your group has its own character and nature.
Yes.
And so how do people find out, or how do people word of mouth?
Mostly it's word of mouth. Yeah, we have a little bit of presence on Maui Vision. We have our groups in there and stuff. But mostly it is the people that we've worked with that love what we do and have been helped, have been supported by what we do.
Well, it's been a lot of years, but I remember you. I always felt when you were with me there doing it, very supported. I've gone in all kinds of different directions, and I have a partner this is 25 years I'm with Ariel. Isn't that extraordinary?
I love Ariel too. She's an extraordinary woman.
She is that.
Yeah.
But that's what I think about you. I see that in what you bring to people, you really are very present and very loving, and I can see once people get involved with your group, I can see where they want to come back. You do this like weekly, monthly, and all kinds of things?
Well, we have our Heart Intelligence groups once a month on the third Saturday of each month. So that's easy.
Okay.
And we have a different theme. Like this theme for this month will be shadow work. So we go diving into the shadow. But we have different themes every month, and they're always very fun because even shadow work can be fun. Because once we bring the shadows out to play, once we shed light on those parts of ourselves that we may feel not okay about in some way, we realize everybody has stuff that that they're holding back.
As I'm hearing when you're doing this, what's going through my mind is, I had an experience a couple years ago with the Mankind Project. Mankind Project is men being men wanting to bring into the world other men that have positive values.
Yes.
And then they have a group, I think it's around, called Women Within. And then I've watched people, trying to do integrated groups to some success in trying to get people to be in touch. But yours seems, I'm trying to kind of identify. Yours is experiential and talking, and obviously a safe place for people to share.
Absolutely, yes. Well, we bring people in. We create a very safe container.
I was going to say, it takes... that's the thing that you are that I don't see in some of these other groups.
Yeah.
And in groups, that there is no one that knows how to control certain parts. Some do, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have experience that allows you to lead a group with... I felt very comfortable and confident.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
I'm sure that's terrific. So what a wonderful thing. You get to meet new people in your group, I'm sure, plus... You can come with partners or alone? Is that
absolutely? Yeah, we most people actually. Well, we do have people with partners that come together, and they get tremendous value in the group work, because the group work also gives us an opportunity to bring ourselves out in front of others. And the individual therapy, which I do, is also very, very helpful, because then we really get to work very specifically on whatever the issues are that a particular person has. But there's something about being witnessed in a very supportive group that really, we're all in the goodness of our hearts. I mean, that's the whole thing, is that we come into the goodness of our hearts. And that's the place that we stay the whole time that we're in this work together. And so being witnessed in that completely open and accepting way, to be accepted and welcomed. I think that, people need to feel welcome, they need to feel safe, they need to feel that they're enough and that they belong. So that's what we create, is that kind of an atmosphere and an intention. And then from that, whatever needs to emerge can. And we can do all kinds of wonderful healing work with each other and fun work with each other, and bring out aspects of ourselves that maybe we wanted to but haven't been able to before, and be witnessed in that and celebrated in that. So...
Well, you put it in such loving, wonderful, inclusive, gentle terms. Sounds irresistible to me.
It's really delightful. We have people coming back. I mean, really, we've had people with us for years that just love the work, and they have grown so much in the time.
Nice to hear.
They've just been it's beautiful to watch.
Can you do it for government departments? Or,
if I was invited.
Invited to the White House to give some sensitivity training to POTUS and company?
Anyone that would invite us to come, I'm sure we would enjoy being able to support. But it does have to be it does have to be people that want to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not the kind of thing.
You can't impose it.
Right. It's the kind of thing you need to make a reach for.
It's an invitation. There's an invitation, and I think that that's really what it is that when we feel invited into authenticity, then the authenticity, I know I love to be authentic, and I don't know anybody that doesn't really want to be authentic, but they have to feel, in order to be authentic, you have to feel safe, you have to feel invited, you have to feel welcomed, and you have to know that whatever you say is...
Yeah, whatever you say is accepted, and no one's condemning you and giving you a safe place to be able to share it.
You got it.
That's, good stuff.
Yes.
And we talk about the group thing, but personal also. I remember just you had a really beautiful, warm, secure presence. That's 30 years ago. Can I say that? How do you stay so?
I've been here a long time. Thank you.
Well, it's interesting because the gentleman, we have a mutual friend named Ron, and I guess he was out there with Groff with you way back when. He tells stories about, so many years ago. And when we talk about people that are insightful and loving and caring and supportive, he never has anyone in mind except you. You come to his mind.
That is so sweet.
He has seen and experienced you over the years.
Yeah.
We, people of Maui, just know we have so many wonderful resources, and Joan Heartfield and her partner Tomas are a wonderful resource and wonderful people. And you're living out where I like living out. You're out in Walo.
Walo, yes.
Oh, boy.
I know.
And I went way back. It was 25 years ago. I went to a birthday party of Lucienne Dene, who many people know that name. Mm-hmm. And there at the birthday party, there was this girl across the way. And that's when we hooked up. I was running for mayor at the time. That's a funny thing to say, I was running for mayor. But I think that a lot of the things we could have gone left or right, we went left. And it's not too late, but it's going to take getting in touch with our own heart and finding out where is our joy, I think.
Yeah.
And doing that.
Yes.
But doing it in an inclusive way on our island. I don't think we should be having these problems we're having.
Well, I think that there's always, the light and the dark exist everywhere. So, in order to let's say become strong, you have to lift weights. So in order to really get clear about who you are and what you want, there have to be some challenges in our lives in order to be able to come up against something in order to prove. And it's really only to myself, I want to prove to myself who I am, not to anybody else. But, knowing that I can do that and knowing that the challenges in my life have helped me do that helps me support other people who are having challenges and realize what's the gift in the challenge.
We all hear that, don't we? That challenges should become our gift and that we should be learning from this so our actions and our responses come from greater wisdom through experience.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I keep staring at this book. This book called Romancing the Beloved. Please tell us about it. I know, how long has it been out? A little bit, but it's a terrific book.
Thank you. Thank you.
How would you describe the book?
Well, it's the undertitle here is A Sacred Sexual Adventure into Love, her story. And so this is my story about how I expanded into a different kind of love, which was really recognizing the divine in another and having that be what brought us together, rather than only the sexual part of the experience, but really the heart and soul and spirit and all of it coming together at the same time. So it's a personal story that actually goes through and shares what this is, but all the things that I learned along the way. So it's just infused with all kinds of wonderful tidbits of wisdom and knowledge of how to have a really healthy, good, loving, delightful, incredibly
in other words, everyone out there
expanded
should be reading
relationship.
this to enhance and deepen their relationships.
Well, I can tell you the people that have read it, I have so many quotes from people that it really has changed their lives and has given them, has opened their eyes, shall we say, opened their eyes to what's possible. And I think that's one of the things that both Tomas, my husband, and I do, and that is help people open their eyes to what's possible in relationship. Because sometimes until you see it, you don't believe it. And so, we help people see each other in different ways, communicate with each other in ways that work, and also be able to see through the personality into the heart and soul of each other, into the really sacred being that we each are.
You guys get that? I'm here with Joan Heartfield. We're here discussing many things, but I don't want to forget to again say Romancing the Beloved, your book. What do we call it? An autobiography, but it's really more than
It's
that.
really more than that. It's
Yeah.
really telling my story, but in telling my story, being able to present what I
Explain.
learned
Right.
so that other people can also receive that learning and teaching and apply it to their lives.
Very available, very personal.
And it's a really fun read. Everybody, I had, in fact, a woman not too long ago that texted me in the middle of the night, and she said, "I can't put your book down." So,
Well,
yeah.
but I can only say, I'm sure that in it, what comes through is you, and that's very joyous, positive, productive, encouraging. Joan, what can we say?
Yeah, well, I've had many wonderful teachers along the way, and everybody that I meet is actually my teacher, because I know that all of the wisdom that we exchange, whether it's verbal or nonverbal, everybody has a story, and all of our stories are important. And so when I sit down with a person and I listen to their story and I listen to the pain in their story as well as the promise of their story, that's what I want to get to, is where's the gold in this looking like mud kind of stuff. But we all go through the mud, but we want to get the gold out of it. We want to be able to receive the wisdom from these challenges that we have in our lives. And I know that that's possible with anybody who wants to do it.
Well, the want to do it part.
Yeah.
Do you work with, I'm sure you worked with all kinds of ethnic groups. Have you done any kind of group things locally? I keep thinking that there needs to be into some of the systems. I don't know what other things are out there.
Very long time ago, we worked with family systems and some prisoners and some people that were in, let's say, the system. But right now I don't. But I'm certainly willing. I'm willing. I love willing, because willingness is something that's so important to be able to take the next step. Even if we're kind of stuck and we don't know what to do. I know if all I have to do is throw my hands up in the air, like Caroline Casey taught me to do, and say, I'm willing to go through this, I'm willing to get this, I'm willing to understand this at a deeper level, I'm willing to really get the gold out of this. And then as soon as I do that willingness, then energy comes in to support me, and information comes, or somebody will come and tell me something, or I'll open a book and it will be exactly what I need to hear. So the willingness that we have to participate with the universe and participate with our soul's growth, because I think that my experience is that I'm here not only to enjoy life and to awaken to life, but also to really participate fully in life. And to allow to have come toward me. Oh, by the way, the root of adventure is to go toward that which is coming toward you. So when we find something coming toward us, to go toward it with willingness and see what it has to offer us.
Wow. So when you see something coming toward you, you try not to judge it positive or negative. You say, let me jump in.
Yeah, let me just find out what this is. It's coming toward me for some reason, whether it's an experience or whether it's a person or whether it's an opportunity.
Wow. When you have these group things, do you find that people, is it like, I'm sure there is some, a curve, or I guess does it take a while for people to be comfortable? Is it
It depends. I mean, usually we always have people in the group who have been there before. So there's already a heart space, let's say a beautiful heart space that is simply there in the group from people who have been there before. So new people coming in are already coming into a beautiful space that's been created. And of course, Tomas and I create so much safety in the group. And also we have agreements to create safety, that create safety. We have many ways to create safety. So it takes a little while for everybody to really drop in, but not that long, and pretty soon, after we kind of explain what we're doing and get going, man, it's just like the group takes off and wonderful things happen in the group that are just literally transformative and fun and growthful and deep and profound and mystical and everything.
And I'm sure that it also sets a foundation for some long-term friendships out of this group.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So
many people that have created relationships, long-term friendships. I mean, friends forever kind of thing.
Wow. Must excuse me here. I don't know why our music didn't work earlier, and I'm not sure what'll happen when I get to the commercial time. What's the most important things that you feel you want to be sharing with an audience? I mean, you have so much experience, and yet you looking out at a world, when I look out at the camera, and I see all kinds of faces and all kinds of different temperaments. What's a good first step?
Oh, that's a beautiful question, by the way. And, I think for me, acceptance is a big one. Really knowing that everything is here for a reason, that there's nothing out of place. And so what that has helped me do is let go of judgment. And when I let go of judgment and I really try to understand a person or a situation or an experience, and what is it here for? What is it here to ultimately, what is here to balance, or what is it here to teach us, then I'm in an open space of curiosity. And I think that being in a place of curiosity and openness and acceptance allows me to receive the blessings and the benefits of whatever is in my space at any particular time.
Well, I am always thinking, when I'm come out into the world, we have an audience out here. We don't know who's listening. We are all over the world. That's wishful thinking here, that we're being heard all over the world. And there, and there's all kinds of people, and you can't help but, when you hear in the news, just things seem to be coming from an ugly place, and seems to be the thing that media it finds it easier to write a story about an ugly thing than a beautiful thing. Or sometimes in recent days, one of our friends, I'm just looking at my eyes, are we 23 or 28? We're 23. Okay, we're good. Well, we're here on KAKU 88.5 FM. I'm Jason Schwartz with Joan Heartfield. We are, what I was just saying probably just left my mind.
Oh, it was about, when you look out at the world and when you see the things that are happening on television, let's say.
And it's like somehow, like you say, being accepting and open. But I've heard so much about prejudice here. A lot of people share prejudice and separation, but I lead with a smile or a soft and gentle heart.
Yes.
My presence, I try to lead with as an example.
Yes, exactly.
That, to try to make it where someone who might have looked at me and wanted to think they might be my adversary just don't feel that.
Yeah, exactly. What I find is that when I look at a person, when I look behind, let's say, their personality, and I really see, I just call it the divine, but the truth, the heart of who they are, the love in their heart. When I look for the love in their heart, and that's what I look for and I see, then they're much more likely to look at me in the same way. If I look at them with that person's,
right.
So if I look at them with non-acceptance, then they're going to project to me non-acceptance. So I find that whatever I lead with, I'm much more likely to receive that in return.
Right. Well, I think that's why I decided you were a great guest to have here. In this world that is so combative, you have such a a gentle, loving, inviting presence. And you're, like I said, your friend Ron, my friend Ron, knows you for many years and know how you've been a giving, loving part of Maui for so long. And I like to celebrate good people, and you're good people.
Thank you so much, Jason. Well, so are you, obviously, and I'm so grateful that you're doing this show so that you can bring people on and you can present another side of the news.
Yeah, and even on subjects that are difficult, I try to, reframe it and put it in a perspective of what, like you say, what is this challenge? How can we rework from a challenge and turn it into something positive that we can build from and grow from? So like all the things we'll talk about when we come back, but all the things that are happening on our island where we have difficulty, oftentimes I feel once we get to learn and know and care about each other, those problems are going to go away.
That's right.
The people that have the resources will come forward because their heart speaks to them and shows them their responsibility to their community that they feel.
Yes.
Because they're open, like you say, because they're open to being accepting and inviting. And we're on an island. We better do that. You can't take our problems and run them into the ocean. We have to kind of look at each other and find solutions. And I'm hoping to stay, that's what this is to me, a ground of neutral.
Yeah.
So whoever doesn't agree, let's find out who each other are and what's going on so that we can find something to serve everybody.
Yeah, let's communicate and commune rather than debate.
Right. I was in my thing yesterday. I was thinking about we want to embrace people, not replace them. We're not looking to turn them into or have robotics come and make it less personal. We want everything to be more personal, more involving with each other. As I there's always abundance, I find. There's always abundance. It's just a matter of, is it being hoarded? Someone in fear, someone in a challenge that they don't think that there is more. And there always is more.
Yeah, that's a really important point, the whole thing of fear, because if we're in fear, we're contracted. And as soon as we start to relax and realize, we can actually be in the goodness of our heart, and we can actually open to the abundance of the universe, and that's what I find is when I open, the abundance of the universe pours in, whereas if I'm closed, it doesn't have a place to go.
Well, we're going to have a place to go right now. We're going to go to hear from a sponsor or two of this station, and then we're going to come back with Joan Heartfield. I'm Jason Schwartz here at the Neutral Zone. See you in a minute.
The 50s, the 60s, the 70s. Hi, this is Steve Summers welcoming you aboard the Oldies Time Machine right here on KAKU. Enjoy special features like the Diner Tune, the Motown Memory, the Doo-Wopper, and the Elvis Moment. Come on! Spend an hour inside the Oldies Time Machine, Sunday mornings at 1 and 10 a.m. right here on the Voice of Maui, KAKU.
The Neutral Zone, with me, Jason Schwartz, would like to thank Maui Arts and Music Association, Dreammakers Foundation of Maui, for their support. Since 1991, with hundreds of television shows and their MauiArtsandMusic.com website, they have championed self-sustainability on Maui. The Neutral Zone is heard live Mondays at 11 a.m. and replayed Saturday at 7 a.m. on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui.
Phone Smarts for the 50-plus, a workshop presented by Akaku Maui Community Media and AARP. Come learn some of the basic features of your smartphone, ways to stay connected to family, friends, and your community. Join us June 4th for 2 sessions, 10 a.m. to noon for iPhone, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. for Android, and bring your device. Only $5. Space is limited. Call Akaku at 871-5554 to get the link to register.
Hi, I'm Jason Schwartz, host of The Neutral Zone. KAKU is a listener-supported station. This means that all of the great programs you hear, like mine, are sponsored by you as well as our underwriters. If you would like to help keep the voice of Maui talking loud and clear, go to kakufm.org/donate today and give. And don't miss The Neutral Zone Mondays at 11 a.m. on 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. Well. Looks like we're back. I'm Jason Schwartz here at the Neutral Zone. It's Monday. You know, you can find this show and all the shows at MauiNeutralZone.com and up at Facebook Live and KAKU on Facebook. And we're on Saturdays in the morning at 7 a.m. So you can find this and the other shows. We always think, this is my thinking, that, you know, this radio station is not funded by the television station. And so a lot of people don't know about us. So a lot of these shows are going to be, I'm making sure they're on the television station to drive people back to here on the radio station to hear some of these wonderful guests. So I want to say, building a library, and part of that library is to deliver good content. You know, they say, why, when you make a web page, do things on your web page that make people want to come back to your web page again and again and again. So one of the things that people will come back is, we have guests like Joan. Like we were talking, it'll be nice. I mean, I'm talking a little up top here. Some of these areas need a little bit more explanation and example of some of the growth that can happen. And I'd like you to give us some examples and some of your experience from this.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jason. Yes. Well, we were talking about how, let's say, the depth work really allows a person to shift sometimes from very deep negative thinking, and particularly negative self-talk, because it's often the things we say to ourselves over and over again that perhaps were said to us by parents unknowingly. It's not like they were trying to hurt us, but maybe that's the way their parents talk to them, and it gets passed down. It might have been a teacher that said something really mean, or a classmate, or another person, or an ex-partner, or people in your life that you have that were quote unquote supposed to love you and care for you, and yet perhaps did some things that really deeply hurt you. And those things that were said then become internalized and become then the things that you hear, that you're not good enough, that something's wrong with you, that whatever it was that somebody said. And those are the things that stop us from giving our gifts. We kind of close down and we shut down and we get very tight inside of ourselves. So in the groups that we do and in the therapy that I do, and my husband does, what we do is we start to reverse some of those tapes, those old tapes that are in our head, and we start to go, well, what would happen if instead of your mother or father or teacher saying this, what would you have liked them to have said? And often, we already know, because we just know. We know what would have been a kinder thing to say, what would have been an actually more honest thing to say. And so we actually role play. We are actually in our groups, we role play. And so I might choose you, Jason, would you be my dad? And instead of saying this to me, would you say this to me? And then, of course, you just know the things to say, because you know ultimately what a good father would say to a daughter, or, a mother to a son, or all of the different ways that we can really redo and replace some of the old tapes with new ones. And even though this sounds simplistic, it is amazingly supportive and life-changing for people, because sometimes being in an altered state, which we are kind of when we're in a group with other people and in this kind of work, to hear the kind of messages that you so wished your dad or your mother or your teacher or your sister or your brother or your ex would have said to you, actually shifts the electromagnetic field that we're carrying, because we carry this not only in our memory, but we carry it in our in the energetic body that we have. And so once we shift the energy, then other things can shift in our life as well, because any way that we're unconsciously carrying out that message in our life, let's say not good enough, once we begin to feel good enough, then all the things that we really want to do in life and we want to be able to bring to life suddenly become more available to us, because our energy is freed up.
Right. That's right. That's a really good thing. And It reminds me of a quote, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. Is that how they say?
Yeah.
So you've got to be ready to get into it. And you can't go from here to here. It's a process, and this process is, like we say, unpeeling of an onion and taking a look and exploring in a way that really gets personal. I'm trying to make this in my own mind available to all kinds of people. Because some people, think, oh, that's so distant from their, I want to say, 9 to 5 normal life and the way they deal with other people, and their relationships are really solid and have a different kind of a flavor in them. But you're good modeling. That's another thing going on in the group here.
Yes.
Good modeling for others to see and experience and take back into their other, if you want to call it other, world.
Absolutely. And even the way that Tomas and I relate to each other, because there's so much respect and caring and love that we also model. And not just when we're the group. I mean, anybody that's around us at any time, that comes over or this or that, will see us interacting in a particular kind of way. And we also support people and teach them to do that in the group so they can actually practice it. So in the group, you can practice, well, what would another kind of communication, if I were to go back and I were to communicate with somebody in my past in a way that actually was more honest for me, but also more loving, more heartfelt, what would I say? Or what might I say to a future partner that might come in? Or how could I invite somebody into my life in a way that they would want to come in? So that heartfelt communication is huge, and not, there's not a lot of.
How did you find a partner with a name like Heartfield? Perfect. Did you search out? You had to.
These things come to us, don't they? Everything in my life, I feel, has come to me. It's like so much. And it really has come from the energetic that I carry inside myself. So a lot of the work we do is really about supporting people in how to change their own energy. Because it's the energetic that we live with every day that goes out into the world, because we are energy beings, and so that energy goes out into the world. And so if I'm carrying around a kind of curmudgeon kind of a feeling, then I'm probably going to not have great experiences in my life, because people are going to be interacting with me as that. However, if I'm feeling good inside, genuinely, not just pretend, but genuinely feeling good, then I'm bringing that into the world, and that quality of energy affects everybody around me. So that's what we share with people and teach people, is how to shift the energy inside themselves. What is it that's holding them back from really feeling the joy inside themselves? And whether it's the old stories that they're telling themselves, whether it's their self-talk, whether it's whatever it is, and it's always inside. It's an inside job. It's always an inside job. It isn't about changing the outside. It's about changing ourselves. And then once we are able to do that, everything outside shifts. Everything.
You guys ready for a shift? Some of you already know this stuff, but I like bringing people on that have heart and direction toward giving our world a chance. A practitioner, I want to say a practitioner, a person like you, and all the love that you give and all the teaching and training and nurturing to people is what I'm hoping our audience really can take away, is to get in touch with you for sure. talkinghearts.com, right? Not .org. I thought .org, but .com. We're the MauiArtsAndMusic.com, because people think com. They don't think org as much. It's very funny. So that's what I find. But I do find that the work you're doing is a giant blessing to people. And, when I said I was going to be on with Joan, a lot of people lit up and all have just nothing but good things to say about you. So you've created a beautiful Maui life here. There are definitely regions of Maui. I mean, I keep thinking that there are some people that just need to be exposed to this. That's why I asked about government, and you say you have to be invited in. My brother on the mainland there started and ran a school for called New Roads in Los Angeles. And then after he just retired, he was consulting for a .com company. One of his students there in the school now has this big company, and so they go in and they do weekly, I want to say, circles, if you will, in corporations.
Yes.
So that's why I was talking about that earlier.
Yes.
Thinking that
Well,
giving exposure to people to another way of approaching things, and I thought would really be very helpful in government.
heart intelligence is a really good thing to have wherever you are, in your home, with your partner, in with your job, in your organization. Heart intelligence absolutely is a way of being able to communicate authentically, but also with grace and ease, because I think that the more that we have the ability to communicate what's authentic in us, but in a way that the other person can receive, because I can say, well, this is what I think, and say it like, this is my honest truth, but if I say it in a way that you can't receive it, you're going to shut me out. And that truth is not going to be heard. So we teach people, my husband and I, Tomas and I teach people how to be able to communicate in a way that is not only authentic, but also is graceful, so the other person can receive the information, because usually we want to communicate because maybe there's a change we want to see happen, or there's some piece of information that we'd really like the other person to receive, and if we don't communicate it in a way they can get it, they won't.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, what always keeps flowing when I'm talking to you, what's flowing into my mind, I guess because he is so present in our world, I am just amazed to see our president. And, I keep thinking he needs a little bit of sensitivity training or something. Every day he just consistently makes a left instead of a right.
I just kind of go right past it. I just keep sending him love. I really do. I just keep sending him love, because I figure that he needs that more than criticism right now. And if you can just see him in the light and see him doing what's best. I
keep hoping we'll be an example to him, that maybe he'll look out, or his people will look out and see that there are other ways that are more, interactive, friendlier.
Let me give you an example, because I think it's really helpful to know even just one little way that when you're talking to somebody and maybe you want them to do something, rather than demanding it, or even say, would you please do this? I love the words, would you be willing? Would you be willing to walk our little dog Pono today, because I need to leave early? Would you be willing to, take the trash out tonight? Would you be willing to, whatever it is? And that place of just asking for willingness is something that is respectful. And I think that that's one of the things that's so important, And so I like to be respectful of everybody, even the people that I may have a different opinion of. I like to talk about them respectfully. I like to interact with them respectfully, because that's much more likely to get their attention than any other way.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I always do it quite as much as I know how to do it. No, but,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's masterful. It's master stuff.
Okay, well, see, this is it. I think this is really the key, and that I, at least this is my deal, is that I feel like that's what I've come into the world to do, is to master myself. Mm-hmm. I've mastered a few other things in the meantime in the process of mastering myself, but the mastery of self is really the big deal. And so if I can master the way I communicate, if I can master the way that I interact with others, if I can master the way that I care for my body, so that I'm, really taking good care of myself and all of that.
This lady's 104. Can you imagine that? Honestly. No, I mean, truthfully, you
ageless.
look terrific.
I'm ageless.
You're ageless. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't even say 30 years around you because you look 30 now. How'd you do that?
Well,
Good living.
attitude. This is a huge part of it. It really
Yeah.
is. It's the quality of energy. The quality of energy that I'm cultivating in myself, and that I'm supporting others around me to cultivate, is the key to agelessness, let's say, or anything. Just joy, having joy in our lives.
And you found something that you like and you're doing, and it brings nothing but goodness in you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good thing.
The more that I can support others, the happier I am.
Do you, this may seem like I'm jumping to another subject.
That's fine.
Okay. When you wrote this book, were you writing it, were you just starting as a biography of you, and then you put in the things, or?
Actually, the book, Romancing the Beloved,
Yeah.
begged to be written. It kept all of these things that I had experienced in my life that were so valuable, kept coming in, and it wanted to be written. It wasn't like I said, I need to write a book, what shall the title be? It was, this book is going to be written. And so I sat down and I just began, and it wrote itself.
Right. I was going to say, so, and the...
But with
should I
lots
call them
of help
therapies?
lots of help with editing, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Editing, always. I'm in Maui College, and I'm taking editing now, and it is an amazing truth that you can have a lot of film and video and words, but now putting them together in a way that tells a story in a way that communicates.
Yes.
That's really another level of work.
That's another level of work. But let's just say the big influence for this book, Romancing the Beloved, was when I had met Tomas, but we were separated by, he was in Michigan and I was in Maui. And so but this incredible energy that we had that had connected through us and through meeting in the jungles of Ecuador, that's part of in the book, was coming up. But the
Romancing
Beloved,
the Stone, is it sort of like that? Do you see?
it has a lot of adventure in it, yes.
You guys are going to like this book, Romancing the Beloved.
It's really
For those of you can't see, it's Romancing the Beloved. What's on the cover?
a sacred sexual adventure into love.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful beautiful cover. But
Well, I'm really glad to know that, it sounds like the experience of writing it, excuse me, the experience of writing it was very fulfilling for you.
it was. And the Beloved, so what I got to feel is that the Beloved is not only personal, but it's transpersonal. Because when I couldn't speak with Tomas because he was, a very long ways away, I began to write, and I just began to write my feelings, and like writing to the Beloved, and it began writing back to me. But it began writing back to me in a way that really answered the questions that I had, the deep, deep questions that I had. So kind of like Donald Neil Welsh's book, the Conversations with God. It was very much like that, in that I began to have these wonderful conversations with this deeper, more expanded, more knowledgeable part of myself that was extremely supportive and helpful and nurturing at a time when I was very confused. So that's part of it too, is really helping people know how do you do that? How do you connect with parts of yourself that may be just a little deeper than what you're able to get in touch with, and actually have that support you and help you through times of crisis and challenge.
So let me see if I can describe what I'm hearing the book to be.
Yeah.
A personal autobiography that relates you over time, but also involves different experiences and your navigation through things and your growth through them. But it's in a very personal way, so that people that know you, or as they will read it, they will get to know you more and more.
Yeah.
And really go down a lot of the journey. It's sort of like a mini therapy, I'm going to call it. You're walking people through the process as you've journeyed in it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's what this is.
And in a really fun way to be able to read so that you're not bored.
Yeah, that's really good. No, I mean, I'm really happy to hear that you have a book.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, what I really love is that I had some really wonderful people had really good things to say about it. And Christian Northrup, who's a friend of ours, said, "Romancing the Beloved is an enchanting true story of what is possible in love, in relationships, in life. Read it and let the healing message heal your heart."
That's a nice thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I must have read it on your website, of some of the things people have said. Very loving and supportive, and they all have seen just how deeply that you and Tomas have touched them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Super good work. I really appreciate, I'm not always a greatest example of the most balanced. I try to be, but you never know. But
it's a constant process. It never stops. I'm always balancing.
But I am really very thankful that you've been doing this work all these years. Do you get people coming from off island too?
We do. We get people coming from all over the world. We just had somebody here from the Netherlands, so we have people coming from all over the world. And some people come and they do an intensive with us. They'll stay in the neighborhood and do an intensive with us for a week or two. And other people will come in just for a session. But yeah, we have a broad expanse. And of course, the groups are the most, the easiest way, the least expensive way to connect. But we love working with people, and we love being able to share and pass on, particularly the things that have worked for us personally and in relationship, because it really is about, if I can give you something that can support you in your life and make your life more wonderful, and give you a tool that can help you after you leave the session.
Right.
That's what I want.
That's the modeling I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I know that is probably one of the things that I think may be the most valuable for people that are coming that haven't yet gotten it right. But to see, like you say, you and Tomas communicating. Ariel and I do that. People say to me, "You're like an old married couple." I think they say that in a good way. I hope.
Yeah.
In that we're very thoughtful and caring, and hopefully. And I've been in many different groups, and I've never been in a group, I want to say co-ed, a couples group. Years ago, this dates me.
Yeah.
Charles and Caroline Muir, who I guess you're good friends, obviously.
Yes, with Caroline specifically, yeah.
And there was this weekend, and I have never really been in groups with couples before. Is that right? I don't know if that's actually true. But I felt really important about the realization of how couples need examples of seeing others that do it. It really is a very helpful thing.
It really is. It really is. Because if we didn't have good models from our parents, if our parents...
Right.
By the way, this is a really important thing to say to parents out there, and that is that the most important thing that your child will receive from you is not how you treat them. It's how you treat each other. And so that's really the deepest learning. They watch you, they listen to you, they hear how do you speak to each other. That's what they learn from. So, in addition to, of course, treating your child with as much love and care, treat each other in the way that you would like your child ultimately to treat you, and also to treat whoever it is that they're with.
Right. Yeah. We see that, we hear about that all the time, that the people in the household are modeling for their kids, and so if it's not positive, it's really not helping your kids toward their future.
Plus, it's not fun. It's like, and by the way, if you need help, get it. There's all kinds of help everywhere. So, just know that if you don't know how to communicate in a way that really is from the heart and is successful, then find it. Find people that can share that with you.
Well, here we are. We've got a couple of minutes left. We went all over the map here, but we're all in the same region because your website name says it all. Talking Hearts.
Yep.
Talking from the heart and
Yes.
really coming from that loving place. Thank you for all the good work, and thanks for being a wonderful person all these years. And you have such a good, nice reputation with all the people I know, and it's well deserved.
Thank you, Jason. It's lovely being here and speaking with you again.
Thank you. Well, you out there, I would say that if you haven't read Romancing the Beloved, I'm one of them. I'm going to get a book. I bet it's available on Amazon and all that kind of stuff, right? Well, so I'm going to show you. You guys are going to see it up on the website, I know. Very beautiful.
This is
So,
for
you know,
my
we
dear.
do these shows, and we know that after the fact, you may go back into our website and find all kinds of people. And when you go back there, make sure that you listen to this show again, because Joan Heartfield is a great gift to our audience and our world. Thank you for being here with me. I very much appreciate you coming and being part of what we're trying to put out here at the Neutral Zone.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
So we got a minute left. You guys should know that next week we have Kimo Keo. You may know him. He's the canoe guy. He's helping the kids, so he'll be here. And we'll see. We may be recording shows at different hours and then putting them on in the time slot. Here I've been going to Maui Community College, and there may be a summer work opportunity that kind of runs through and makes me record these at different times. We'll see. Joan, thank you for being here with us. Thank you guys for being here with us at the Neutral Zone. We will see you next week, same time, or you can find us again up on the web. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. Let's see if I can get the sound to work this time. I think we probably can. Let's try it right now. Ready? What is that? Why is it not? There it is.